Hey guys, we're going to take a look at Hitler's Germany, kind of how he impacted everyone on a daily basis, and just kind of what it was like in Nazi Germany with Hitler in charge. Okay, so let's start. So we looked at this last time, and you guys did your little summary project. He's named Chancellor. Again, he got voted in there. President Hindenburg dies, and then the series of events that happens in about a year, from 33 to 34, with the Reichstag fire and the Night of Long Knives, people being assassinated, some laws to outlaw political opponents, and he will be now the Führer, the leader, okay, from here on out, okay. So in August of 1934, he is now, in August of 1934, considered the dictator of Nazi Germany. Okay, so again, and I like to stress this, the economy under the Nazis, we looked at this last time, was really bad when it started, and you're going to see unemployment under Hitler go down quite a bit. Okay, so you can see here, the dark blue is Germany, the light blue is Britain, and a lot of these policies were very successful in getting Germans back to work. And again, we'll look at how he's able to do that through a system of programs and discrimination, and let's go. So, three things that he's going to do: reparations, stop paying them; government spending; and building up the military. All right, so let's look at these. So the first thing, after World War I, okay, Germany owed billions and billions of dollars to the Allied countries, and Hitler just basically said, "No, we're not paying those anymore." Okay, what's the rest of the world going to do? No one wants to go into World War III, so basically, no one does anything about it, and he's able to use that money to then reinvest into jobs and to building up the military infrastructure. Okay, government spending. So he's going to go ahead and do the largest public works construction project the history of the world up to that point, in creating the Autobahn. Okay, so this be the German highway system, which the United States will model our highway system in the 50s after the German system. Okay, this again puts people back to work on the one side, but then it also, when we start the war, it's going to increase the speed that the army can move throughout the country, because no one else has this paved highway system. And now when we get into Blitzkrieg, lightning war of World War II, he's able to move people, soldiers, throughout the country much quicker. Okay, huge public works jobs. The 1936 Olympics held in Berlin, millions of dollars spent, thousands and thousands of jobs, putting people back to work, draining marshes, doing farmland, okay, construction jobs, investing in the car industry, Volkswagen, the people's car. Again, all of these things to be able to be converted for military purposes. Okay, so again, and I always like to stress this, the National Labor Service gives men jobs in public works. They're living in camps. They're taught discipline and work in. They're given free meals, a little bit of pocket money. And again, this sounds very similar to what the United States does with the Civilian Conservation Corps. Now, the difference is this is kind of just soldiers in training here, because we'll take off these shovels and give them rifles once World War II starts. So all these things, from building up the National Labor Service to creating the Autobahn, it's all kind of, the factories, the Volkswagen factories will easily be converted for the war when we enter World War II. Okay, so how does he get people to obey him? All right, so Nazi Germany had a very complex and rigid, complete police state. Okay, if you choose not to obey, you will be punished. All right, so German citizens on a whole had very little rights when you think about freedom, what they're able to do, because there's this Nazi police state. Okay, now with this, and you don't have to necessarily get into the details and, what's the SA and what does this word mean in German? The whole point of these next couple slides is really just to show they had a total police state. And what that means, you had the SA, a lot of ex-soldiers, unemployed men felt betrayed by the previous government, okay, and they are going to be known as the brown shirts. They'll go in, disrupt political meetings. They're kind of his kind of on the ground, military police force. The SS, which will later, they'll start as Hitler's personal bodyguards, will later become, the organization that runs the concentration camps. Okay, so they have these. The SS is kind of the more elite. The SA are more the boots on the ground. Okay, but again, you're thinking of 2 million of these brown shirts, of these SA soldiers. Okay, and again, just many more of the SS. Then you have the Gestapo. These are the secret police that are spying on citizens. Okay, you get snitched on, you're going to be killed. Okay, they're the ones that are going to find out and root out any enemies, anybody who's talking bad about Nazi Germany, about Hitler. Okay, sent to concentration camps. No trial. All right. And again, I like to stress this, and I talk about this a lot in class. Because kids will often say, well, why didn't anybody do anything? Like, why did Germans just shut up? Well, you can see here, 162,000 prisoners, German prisoners. The first people sent to the concentration camps were Germans who opposed Hitler. So if you think about, the steps of genocide, and you have bipolar, all those people in the middle that stuck their nose out, they are gotten rid of. Okay, 162,000 imprisoned or put in camps right away. Okay, so you think of this police state. It's the fear. I mean, you see this one here, Otto Bauer, 56-year-old businessman, basically talking smack about Hitler. Okay, a married couple reports him to the Gestapo, the secret police. He's beheaded. Okay, so again, fear is a motivator. All right, and there's constant, propaganda. We looked at censorship. You have complete, just military police state. Okay, the first concentration camps set up immediately. Okay, in 1933, and again, which I mentioned, it's for Hitler's political opponents. All right, his enemies. Okay, we'll look at the camp system later on, but again, it's important to realize that the first camps are actually not for Jews or homosexuals or Jehovah's Witnesses. It is for people who oppose Hitler politically. Okay, so Dachau is in southeast Germany. Okay, and it's opening immediately when Hitler becomes chancellor. All right. Now we're going to take a look at some different groups. All right, and I'm going to go quickly on this, but again, the whole point in all of these is everyone's sole purpose is to how you can help Nazi Germany. Okay, so women, their sole purpose is to raise good Nazis. All right, so the place for women's in the home. Nazi propaganda posters everywhere. Okay, girls not allowed to smoke. Your diet is regulated. Professional women, lawyers, doctors, you got to give up those jobs so you can go home and raise kids. And, they'll give loans to people who want to have, once you go through the process to figure out that you are purebred German, you're actually paid money or stipends for having more babies. So you can see the Gold Cross. You get 7-8 children. You are recognized at this national ceremony every August on Hitler's mom's birthday. So again, the women's role is to make more German Nazi Aryan babies. Okay. Again, once you are considered pure, you're not allowed to use any sort of birth control, anti-abortion laws. They only want pure Aryan children. We will look at the opposite. So if you are not pure, you are going to be sterilized. You will be, killed in in a lot of cases. Okay. So again, they also have this system of, kind of the League of German Girls, kind of the Girl Scout sort of thing, educating girls very early on, family life, healthy, produce lots of children. All right. The Nazi youth, the whole purpose of education is to create Nazis. All right. You got schooling, boys and girls are separate. Everything is Nazi beliefs. History, you're told the German superiority. In biology, you're told the science of the superiority of the Aryan race. Gym class is kind of military-style training. All right, girls, it's more of a home economics type, family and consumer ed. All right, everything is for the purpose of educating to create Nazis. Okay, now a lot of times kids will ask, okay, well, you got all these other groups. Weren't most of these Germans Christian? Yeah, 1933, most Germans were Christian. Okay, they're either Protestant or Catholic. All right, so in the beginning, Hitler kind of makes this deal. All right, you can see right away, signs this agreement that basically says to the Catholic Church, I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. Okay. And kind of, just we live in separate spheres. Okay. Well, that is not going to hold up. All right. So you can see Hitler was raised in a Christian Catholic home. Obviously, the Nazi tenets are against everything Christianity stands for. And you can see here this idea, Hitler, one is either a German or a Christian, which can't be both. Okay? And in the end, anything that's going to compete with Nazi Germany is going to be deleted and exterminated. Okay? One cannot be both. And at the Christian teaching, we're all the same Jewish swindle. In the end, I will eradicate Christianity. Okay? So this will not last. Nazis do not leave the Catholic Church alone. They see them as a threat. There's Catholic schools. There's the Catholic youth program. And because of this, and a lot of these Catholic schools are not going to, take down all their Christian symbols, take down the crosses and statues. So basically, the Catholic Church will be illegal early on. Okay. So, again, all these things, no one is going to be untouched. Okay. Unless you want to just completely turn a blind eye and shut your eyes to what's going on. Okay. So Jews, which we'll focus on a lot, we're not the only group treated as second-class citizens. All right. So gypsies, which are kind of Eastern European, I do a lot of nomadic groups. They're a nomadic group that kind of goes from area to area. Racially, or you think of ethnically, different than Nazis, different than Germans. They will all be rounded up, sent into camps. There's going to be 200,000 gypsies are going to be murdered. Okay, people who go from town to town. A lot of times you think of these as beggars. They're going to be put in concentration camps to forced work. So you think about, why is there no unemployment? Because it's like illegal to be unemployed. You're going to put you in a camp. You're going to be working. Okay. You're going to educate you on how to work. Okay. You have black people. Not a lot of black people in Germany. They're not allowed to marry Germans. Okay. Because that would be like mixing the bloods, and we'll talk about the Nuremberg laws quite a bit later on. Okay. Black music is seen as unpatriotic, degenerate music. Okay. Children that are born to German women by black soldiers are going to be sterilized. Makes it so you can't have any more babies. Okay. So again, every group, the mentally ill. Okay. This idea that you are screwing up the gene pool, and we'll look at this with the T4 program. So the mentally ill are going to be sterilized. 300,000 people sterilized, make it so you can't have children anymore. A lot will be killed, which we will look at later on. 70,000 people. You think of mentally, physically handicapped people going to be killed. Okay, homosexuals, because again, the whole point is procreating. So homosexuality is going to be outlawed, even though there were underground gay clubs at times. Some leading Nazis were kind of closet homosexuals. Okay, again, the role of adults is to procreate. Okay, so even when we look at the camps, you got a pink triangle if you were an outed homosexual. Okay, and then Jews. Okay, so this, just kind of ending on this. When you look at this and you think of those Jewish stereotypes, Jews make up 1% of the German population, yet they have an overwhelming amount of lawyers and doctors. Okay, so you have this jealousy of success, of education, and when we look at the first solution, we're going to see boycotts and then just stripping away all the rights of Jews, and we'll spend a lot of time looking at the Jewish, situation. Okay, so again. This is important to note. They're a very small percentage. 99% of Germany is not Jewish, but yet such a big percentage of doctors and lawyers are Jewish, and businessmen and bankers. Okay, which we talked about the reasons why. Okay, so again, Nazi Germany, Hitler's Germany, everyone is affected. No one is left untouched, and we'll come back and look at this later. All right, see you guys.